Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the solution of the unit 3rd of 2015 question paper. So let's take a look at the unit 3rd 6th A part. Prove that a connected graph with n vertices and n minus 1 edges is a tree. So we want to prove that if G is a connected graph which has n vertices and n minus 1 edges, then it must be a tree. So let's start the solution. Suppose we have a connected graph G which has number of vertices n and number of edges is small m, that is equals to, according to given question, the number of edges is n minus 1. So G is a connected graph with n vertices and n minus 1 edges. So if possible, according to the question, we want to prove that it's a tree, but on the contradiction we are going to suppose that if G is not a tree, then it contradicts the definition of the tree. What is a tree? A tree is a connected graph which contains no circuit, but here G is a connected graph and it's not a tree, so it definitely contains a simple circuit. Say it is C. So it contains at least one simple circuit C. Let E be an edge in this circuit. If there exists an circuit in C, then there must exist an edge in circuit C. Say it is a small e. So if I consider the graph G minus E, means from the graph G, I am deleting the edge E, then number of vertices in the G minus E will remain same because I am deleting just an edge but not the vertices. So number of the vertices in G minus E will remain same. G minus E is a now G minus E is a connected graph. Why? Because E is an edge in the circuit. C is a circuit in G and E is edge in circuit. So if I delete an edge from the circuit in given graph G, then G minus C is still connected graph having n vertices, and since G has n minus 1 edges, so by deleting one edge it will have now n minus 2 edges. Since G minus E is connected, then obviously E edge is not a bridge. Why E is not a bridge? Because if E is a bridge, then G minus C will remain disconnected graph. But since G minus E is connected, then definitely E is not a bridge. So now, continuing this process of deleting the edges which are not bridges, until we get an subgraph G1 with n vertices and n minus k edges where k greater than 1, in which every edge is a bridge. Means we will continue this process until we get a graph with n vertices and some n minus k number of edges in which every edge is a bridge. Means we are going to delete all the bridges. So at the end stage, when we will have a given graph which has n vertices and n minus k edges where each edge is a bridge, now it's a connected graph which is free from simple circuit. Say it is a G1 connected graph which is free from simple circuit. Now, since it is free from circuit and it's connected graph, then definitely it's a tree. Now, since G1, we have supposed that G1 has n minus k edges. But now, G1 has total n vertices because G1 is obtained from G by deleting the edges which are not bridges, but we are not deleting the vertices. So, G1 has same number of vertices as G has. So, G1 has n vertices. Since it's a tree, so by one result, if G is a tree which has n vertices, then it must have n minus 1 edges. By using this result, this G1 has n vertices, so it must have n minus 1 edges. But here we have said that it has n minus k edges where k greater than 1. So obviously n minus k is equals to n minus 1, which implies k is equals to 1, which is not possible. So our supposition is wrong. Definitely given graph G which is connected, which has n vertices and n minus 1 edges, it is definitely a tree. So second problem is 6th B part. What do you mean by traversal algorithms? Explain with example pre-order and post-order traversals. As you know, in the previous Zoom lecture, we have discussed in detail that what is the meaning of traversal algorithm, and we have also discussed about pre-order, in-order and post-order traversal algorithm with example. So you can take the reference of from the book to understand these algorithms. Now, so we in according to your paper pattern, you have to attempt either sixth question full with A and B part, or you have to attempt seventh question, seventh A first part, seventh A second part, and seventh B. So we have discussed now till now. We have discussed sixth A and sixth B part. Now take a look at 7th A first part. Convert the decimal number 231.231 into their binary equivalent. So we want to convert this number into their binary equivalent. So just take a look of this. Take a look at the solution. So firstly, we want to convert this integral part to 231 into the binary form. As you know, to convert this integral part 231 into binary form, you have to divide this number by 2. As you know, our remainder is 1, so that is the 2 raised to power 0 place in the binary form. Then we divide the 115 by 2, our remainder is 1, and so on. So these remainders represent in the binary form. This remainder represent 2 raised to power 0 place. This remainder represent 2 raised to power 1 place. This remainder represent 2 square place, and up to so on. So our 231, which is in the decimal form, its binary form will be 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 1. We have to write it in the descending order. It is 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 1. So this is the conversion of integral part into binary form. Now look at the fraction part. So our fraction part is also 0.231. So to convert the fraction part, we have to multiply by 2 uh, 2 with the number 0.231. Now this product will become 0.462. So we have to consider the integral part. So our integral part is 0. Then now we will multiply this product by 2, that is 0.924. Here our integral part is 0. Now multiply 0.924 by 2, our integral, here our integral part, in this product here our integral part is 1. So in the next step, we will multiply the 0.842 by 2. So in the next, our integral part is 1, and so on. As you can see in this step, here our product is 1.088. So here our integral part is 1. So this process will not terminate, but we have to stop at the situation where the decimal part is very smaller. So here you will see, since 0.088 is the minimum fraction part of all the products, so we terminate the multiplication at this stage. So here our conversion of this fraction part will become 0.00111, 0.11001. So here it is a conversion of this fraction part into binary form. So total in all, our binary form of this number 231.231 will become 111,00111. This is the conversion of integral part. 0.00111,011,001. So in this way you can convert any decimal number to the binary form. So in the next video lecture we will discuss the remaining questions. So in these questions, as we have discussed in this video, if you face any problem, you can ask. Thank you.